Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Relationships with Stand Up to Racism and other anti-fascist organisations. And the reason that we have those links is because we've always understood that whilst it is our members who implement government policy, including in a building behind us in a Home Office, the reality is that it's not just about our members' jobs, it's not just about our members' pay conditions. They're the bread and butter that we fight for. But we as a trade union have always been proud to also understand that we have to look outwards beyond our union for a better world, a better society and better community.
What the government's done this week is unbelievable in many ways. Historically, they will be judged brutally for this. There are hundreds of people dying almost every day in the Mediterranean. Thousands have died over the past decade and a half trying to cross the Mediterranean. Quite a lot have also died crossing the Channel, trying to get to a place of safety. Then you ask yourself the question, why is that happening? Were they out on a sort of cruise, having a day out on the sea, just enjoying the Mediterranean? Or were they people who felt that their lives were so bad, their situation was so bad, they felt safer trying to cross a dangerous sea than staying on the land? Then think about the idea that people that have come to this country, applied to stay here, received indefinite leave to remain, and the words sound pretty permanent, indefinite leave to remain. It's pretty clear, you don't need to check a dictionary to know what that means. And now being told they will be under consideration for cancellation of that. International law, there is nothing illegal about claiming asylum. It is an absolute legal right for anybody, everywhere, across the whole world. And somehow or other that has now been bowdlerised into something that's called illegal. So we're in a very dangerous situation. Why is Nigel Farage and Tommy Robinson allowed to completely dominate our media, dominate our political discourse, and quelle surprise, the opinion polls show that immigration is the biggest issue that people are concerned about around the country? Well, if every newspaper headline leads with the so-called problem of immigration all around the country, then it's not surprising people think it is a problem. So where are our media in any form of balance on this debate? Where are our media on any form of discussion about the role played by everyone that's made their homes in this country and done the work? I was in a debate with somebody from Reform on television, and she was going on about all the problems of the people that have come here, and I just invited her to go down to the hospital, take a note of all the people that work there, find out how many of them should be removed, and then see if there's anybody left to run the hospital at the end of it, because that is actually what it amounts to. So let's speak up for those people that have made their homes here and made our lives better by their work in the National Health Service, on Transport for London, in our schools and everywhere else. Let's recognise that, and recognise the strength of a multicultural, multilingual, multi-ethnic society, and stand up against Islamophobia, stand up against anti-Semitism, stand up against any form of racism, and be proud of the diversity of our society and our country. This place over here, proposing these law changes this week, just filled me with utter disgust. Enoch Powell in 1968 said he didn't want to be, he was concerned about a nation of strangers. I was disgusted by what he said then, and a lot of people were equally disgusted. That was then repeated by Keir Starmer, and it's now been put into legislative form by Shabana Mahmood and what she's saying. It's our job to stand up for a pluralistic society. It's our job to stand up against any form of racism. And finally, just to recognise that the numbers of people that have come from across the Channel over the past year is about 25,000. 6,000 of those have come from Afghanistan. Who spent hundreds of millions of pounds bombing Afghanistan? Who spent hundreds of millions of pounds in keeping troops in Afghanistan? How many soldiers died in Afghanistan in a war they ended up removing and retreating from? And so I think you just have to recognise that wars create refugees, Environmental degradation creates refugees, and over the world there are possibly 50 million refugees. 80% of them, possibly more, are not being taken in by wealthy industrial nations in Europe or North America or the wealthier parts of Asia. We're here for peace, for justice, for human rights, and above all, for solidarity with the victims of human rights abuse and the wars and environmental degradation that faces our planet. Well done, Stand Up for Racism. Well done, all of you, for being here today.